Okay, so welcome everybody to the Minnesota Ayurveda Association. We are videoing this talk for the MA website. MA is Minnesota Ayurveda Association. And I'm going to be talking about preparation for pregnancy, labor and delivery, and postpartum. This is not an in-depth conversation or in-depth talk, but just briefly introducing you to the Ayurvedic approach to this topic. So it is kind of a habit of mine to repeat over and over the Ayurvedic approach to this, the Ayurvedic approach to that, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to really try hard not to say it. I'm just going to say it like this is it, okay? All right. So to begin with, I just also want to say, I know this is being videoed, but if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask me anytime, okay? And I'll do my best to answer. So pregnancy preparation then, Ayurveda, see here I do it already. It is recommended for the couple to do panchakarma or about 3 months before they decide to get pregnant. Purification is recommended, and it's very nice to do panchakarma. But really, pregnancy preparation begins with the couple having a good quality of life between them and good sharing and communication in their relationship. As the couple is preparing, there's a few recommendations. It's important to plan. When the couple is decided to get pregnant, it's a good idea for them to change their diet to a vata-soothing diet, meaning fresh, warm, cooked food, don't overeat, chew your food well, and enjoy your meal. I already talked about doing panchakarma, 5 to 15 days. Usually in this country it's 5 to 7 days. If you happen to go to India, you do your panchakarma until the doctor says you're done. But, yeah. The woman should study her menstrual cycle. Find out the length of the cycle, monitor her ovulation, and find out when she's pregnant. Taking her temperature, things like that can be helpful so that she knows when she's fertile and ready to, in the most fertile time. Ayurveda does recommend avoiding intercourse during menstruation. Dr. Lad did talk about if you want to have a boy or a girl, there are some certain days to have, so I cannot vouch for this, but I'll just let you know what it is. If you want a boy, make love on the odd day after the cycle. So day 5, 7, 9, 11. And if you want a girl, make love on the even day after the cycle, day 6, 8, 10, or 12. So, and when he says after the cycle, I really don't know what that means. If it's like the first day of the menstrual cycle, I think that's what that means, or the last day of the menstrual cycle. I'm not really sure, but odd days for boys, even days for girls. Do Rasayana. Rasayana means rejuvenation. Herbal Rasayana in particular for women, they can do Shatavari or other herbs that are supportive to the reproductive system. And for men, they can do Ashwagandha. If the couple is 2 women or 2 men, then, well, for men they will be having somebody else. But for women, the woman who's having the baby should support her reproductive system. Some herbal Rasayana is very helpful. So before making love, do pranayama. Ayurveda says, do pranayama and merge into oneness with God and with each other. Make love on an auspicious day. Do not make love on a day of an eclipse, not the new moon, and not the waxing moon. Okay, so that's a little bit about preparation. A little bit more here. Ayurveda sees life as eternity. Dr. Lad regularly, when he was lecturing to us, would draw a triangle on the board and write mind, body, spirit in Sanskrit. Atman, Sattva, and Sharira. Atman is soul, Sattva is the mind, and Sharira is the body. So this is how Ayurveda views the human being. And there are 4 essential factors for the proper formation and development of the fetus. The first one is Ritu, R-U-T-U, Ritu, means time. Time in this case means the menstrual cycle, ovulation, and when conception happens. The second important factor for the development and formation of the fetus is the kshetra, Kshetra, kshetra. That means the place. In this case, it's the womb, the fallopian tubes, the womb, the uterus, the place for fertilization and growth of the fetus. The third important factor is ambu. Ambu literally means water, but in this case it means nutrition. Nutrition for the fetus is very important. And Dr. Lott also says that this is referring to the female egg. Although other places I read, the fourth important factor is bija, which is seed. And in this, Dr. Lott says it's the male seed or the sperm, but in some cases this bija was the egg and the sperm, but Dr. Lott moves the egg up into the previous one and says that it's nutrition. So whatever, we need both, of course. These four are needed for consciousness to become prakriti. Prakriti is nature, our vata pitta kapha paradigm. So, parents who have a deep desire for a child should be in good health and in a pleasant mood. I just want you to know that I got a lot of information from this book, Conception as Craftsmanship. My friend Vanashri, who I mentioned earlier, who just had a baby, she lent me this book. She just had a baby, and this book is from Maharashtra, and it's very Indian in its wording, and very, may not be relevant to a person from the West, but it was nonetheless very interesting and very much about Ayurveda, and I found it fascinating to read. Okay, please, and I invite you to look through it if you'd like to. So this is from that book. Parents should have a deep desire for a child. Parents should be in good health and in a pleasant mood. Be sure there is no constipation, especially for the mama. Don't be constipated. Have a regular bowel movement, a daily regular bowel movement. When desirous of a child, the couple should make love, and prior to that, they should eat an early dinner, good homemade cooked food that is balanced with all 6 tastes. They should be at home. Don't go to a hotel. At home where the atmosphere is pure and sweet, and not in a hotel or an unpleasant location to make love. The thoughts the parents have at the time of conception are passed on to the child. So parents should express love. The health of the parents determines the child's prakriti, so the parents should be in good health. They should be free of worries. They should be happy and desirous of a child. If it is within the couple's culture or their way of their religion or their spirituality, they should ask for blessings from God or whatever your however you think of spirituality or religion, blessings for the child. Okay, so once conception occurs, the woman will know because she will have missed her period. She should see her doctor to determine the pregnancy, or she can determine it on her own with a test, but nonetheless, it is recommended that she have appropriate checkups. Go to the doctor when on the appropriate periods of time that are recommended. So once conception takes place, the woman should take measures to support and stabilize the fetus. She should have good food, wholesome living. She should avoid vigorous rides, vigorous exercise, bouncing, fasting, and avoid vata-aggravating diet and lifestyle. Ayurveda talks a lot about bouncing and jump up and down and jumping. Dr. Lott says vata likes jumping, trampling, and running. So don't do running and jumping and trampling. Those kinds of things. Once a woman is pregnant, she needs to have a vata-soothing life to support the fetus. Okay. So next, what I'd like to do is share with you from this is my Charaka Samhita. This is the first volume. You can see I'm a pitta. I have to make all my Anyway, so this information I'm going to share with you next is from Charaka. So please keep that in mind. It's very basic, rooted information in the ancient text. The embryo is a combination of sperm, ovum, and life principle implanted in the womb. The embryo is the product of the Pancha Mahabhutas, or the 5 primordial elements. Those of you who are new to Ayurveda, space, air, fire, water, and earth. In Sanskrit, space is Akasha, air is Vayu, fire is Tejas, water is Ap. I know at Ambu I said water was Ambu earlier, but in Sanskrit there's many words for the same thing. And Prithvi is earth. The seat of consciousness is the sixth constituent of the fetus. During the first month, the embryo is turbid and has manifest and unmanifest body parts. During the second month, it grows to be a small bolus, and the sex of the fetus is determined. It grows to be a small bolus. Those body parts derived from Akash, or space, are sound, the auditory organ, which is the ears, lightness, minuteness, and distinction. Those body parts derived from Vayu, or the wind, are touch, and the tactile organ, which is skin, roughness, impulsion, shaping of the dhatus, or the tissues, and physical activities. From fire, or tejas, comes vision, the visual organ, which is the eyes, light, digestion, and heat. From water, which is ap, comes taste, the gustatory organ, which is the tongue, coldness, softness, unction, and moistening. From earth comes smell and the olfactory organ, which is the nose, heaviness, stability, and mass. Thus, the person is equal to the universe. Whatever formed entities are formed in the universe are also found in the person, and vice versa. The learned people want to see the phenomena from this angle. I like that. Got that from Charaka. The fetus attains consciousness when the sense organs are manifested. At that moment, the fetus is able to express a desire for what it may want, and what may have been experienced in a past life. This is called the state of two hearts. The fetus's heart is connected to the mother's heart through the vessels that carry nutrition. So the desire of the fetus is manifest and expressed through the mother. The mother and fetus become one, and they are equal in expressing their desires. So whatever she wants should be provided as long as it does not harm the fetus. So those of you who have studied Ayurveda know that there's a lot of Ayurveda talks a lot about cravings, and that there are good cravings and not so good cravings. But in this particular situation, when a woman has a craving or a desire for something and she's pregnant, it should always be given to her, unless, of course, it will harm her or the fetus. Factors that may harm the fetus include irritating food and activities, alcohol, rough rides, meat, things that are unfavorable to the sense organs. So you can imagine for yourself what those things are. To me, it's a scary movie. Do not go to scary movies. But for everybody, it's different. But things that are unfavorable to the sense organs. If there is a desire by the mother that is too intense, it may be given to her to satisfy her. It is best not to suppress the desire, as this may aggravate vata and cause destruction or deformity of the fetus. So it's quite strong, because, even something that is, of course, unless it's going to harm the fetus, a very strong desire, Ayurveda says it should be given to her. Fourth month, there's nothing said about the fourth month. I couldn't find it. I looked and looked. There's nothing there. So the fifth month, flesh and blood are developed more. The sixth month, strength and complexion. The seventh month, more development may cause the mother to feel tired and fatigued. The eighth month, ojas is exchanged between the mother and the fetus. Guys, ojas is the immunity. Ojas is immunity in Ayurveda. And is very important for the good health of the fetus and the mother for that to happen. And then ninth month is birth. Charaka talks in detail about the factors to maintain health of the fetus in the womb and factors that may cause destruction of the fetus. And I didn't go into that here in great detail, but he does go into that a lot. He does go on to discuss the mind and the psyche, and compares sattva, rajas, and tamas, Rajas and tamas being the two doshas in the psyche. So what that means is, as you may know, the word dosha means fault. Directly translated from Sanskrit, the word dosha means fault. And so a sattvic mind is considered a mind that is peaceful and kind and best. I don't know how else to describe it. Sattva is a very interesting concept. It's hard for me to describe it. Of course, I know what it is in my mind and in my body, but it's hard for me to say it. But it's kind and soft and grounded and peaceful and sweet and happy. But rajas and tamas bring imbalance to the mind. So sattva is purity. For the expectant mother, she is encouraged to listen to music that is pleasing and spiritual. She is encouraged to do yoga asana and to chant in Sanskrit or to listen to Sanskrit chanting. It's important for her to communicate with the fetus during pregnancy. She should do things like read books that are helpful, calming, to bring awareness to herself and to the child. Avoid books, movies, and anything that disrupts or aggravates the senses. This is from this book now. Listen to pure, wholesome, beautiful sounds, sweet, calming music that lifts the heart and brings joy. The effect on the mother's mind is very important, for the baby's mind is also affected. Prepare for what you want. A loving, charitable, intelligent, affectionate, generous, compassionate, beautiful child, and any other adjectives you want for your child. Focus on those. Discuss them with your partner, especially early in the pregnancy. Mother should not travel for the first 3 months or the last 3 months of pregnancy. Mama should engage in practices that bring her to herself during her pregnancy. Simple daily tasks that call in her ancestors, like observing the sunrise, yoga asana for pregnancy, care of the garden, growing flowers, making the home beautiful and preparing it for the baby, serving others in your work and your home, feeding the birds, cooking food using your hands, grinding spices, making bread, chopping vegetables, cleaning grains and legumes, cleaning the house, and doing other creative things that are bringing her to some sattvic and peacefulness during her pregnancy. Self-care during pregnancy, mama should do a daily body massage. She can do breast massage while pregnant and after the baby is born. From the outside towards the nipple, making sure that the nipples are out and not inverted. The last trimester, if the nipples are in, massage should be done to pull them out gently. But do not massage the breast during the first 3 months of pregnancy, according to, I'm not going to say that. During the 9th month, especially, she should do vata soothing practices. Warm oil massage, warm baths, cooked food that's easy to digest, and rest during the day. Constipation should be avoided. This is a remedy, an Ayurvedic remedy for constipation for pregnant women is warm milk with ghee. If you can't take dairy, coconut milk is a nice alternative, but warm milk with ghee is recommended for constipation. Some vaginal discharge is normal. The discharge is not harmful as long as it doesn't have any smell or any blood. So the mama should seek help if there's any untoward discharge, foul smelling or blood or anything like that in any discharge that she has. And in the 9th month, she shouldn't stand too long. I was just thinking of you. I remembered studying this, and you said, I'm going to stand for a while. I didn't know how far you were. But, and she should elevate her legs if she gets some swelling in her legs. Medical exams should be followed up regularly by the mom to be sure there isn't any serious symptoms or any things that needs addressing. She should have that done so she is calmed and her fears are relieved. Symptoms such as hyperglycemia, hypertension, vaginal discharge, as I mentioned, constipation, nausea, and vomiting all should be addressed. Ayurveda does recommend basti for nausea and vomiting. Basti is enema, a gentle enema to bring apana downward. May be helpful for chronic vomiting during pregnancy. Modern medicine does recommend ultrasound. It's up to the woman, but The recommendation is that the first ultrasound should be done at 7 to 8 weeks to confirm the pregnancy, to rule out ectopic pregnancy, and to check for multiples. The next ultrasound around 16 to 20 weeks to rule out any congenital abnormalities, make sure the placenta is in the right location, and to determine the gestational age, and make sure the amniotic fluid is appropriate. And the last ultrasound at 32 to 34 weeks to check for fetal growth and the position of the fetus. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say? Okay, so next is labor and delivery. Everybody doing okay? Okay. Labor and delivery. So up until this point, all three doshas are increased in the woman in a positive way. Those of you who are clients have heard me say this before, but vata is increased because everything is happening in the vata part of the body. From the belly button down, the hips, the thighs,